I'm terrible with money. This is how it started. This is how this journey started. I started budgeting, I started tracking, I started monitoring my finances and knowing what my money goes on. And if you're wondering, well, that's too much effort. Well, there's an easy first step that all starts with keeping money away from yourself. The easiest principle in the whole ball game is keeping money away from yourself. I set up a standing order, a request to my bank to take away exactly 1/3 of my salary out of my main bank account and into a specialized one. Why did I do this? Well, 2 reasons. Like everyone, I stopped spending money when I hit a certain threshold. Almost like clockwork. I'd check my balance and find I only have £100 left and 2 weeks until my next salary. That condition known as having too much month at the end of your salary. So I'll cut down my spending, drastically if I need to. I thought I could apply that principle intentionally. Take money away so I would feel I have less money and I'd spend less on crap. The key was to never ever touch the money I was putting in the specialized account, or even think of it as money that could be touched. Those were long-term savings, never to be touched for years to come. The second reason was because that savings account was invested in non-taxable shares and stocks. That's a specific thing called an ISA in the UK. It sounds complicated, but I wanted to make my first attempt at investing savings, and I thought that specialized account, the one that I chose, was a good way to do that. I said here that I try to save 1/3 of my salary. This comes from a rule that I advise everyone who can follow it and doesn't live in London, New York, Hong Kong, or every capital city ever, to split their salary in thirds. 1/3 should go to rent and bills. Try to find a place that balances time to get to work and to other useful places like cinema, groceries, against the cost of it. 1/3 goes to groceries, going out, any other semi-useful stuff that you find yourself craving that particular month. For instance, this month, I'm treating myself to a mattress. The final third is for savings. Especially as a young person, you cannot, I repeat, cannot save enough. In some places in the world, there's other problems, but in many developed countries and many developed economies, housing is expensive, really expensive. If you don't have any other reasons to save for a house. You can always change your plan later, but you'll still have the money if you've saved it. Alright, so for me, that's the main way of saving, but what if either you can't save a chunk of your salary like that, or that just doesn't work for you? Here's where you can use different ways. You know how much I love the number 3, so I'll throw in 3 ways that have worked for me at different times. Number 1, FinTech is your friend. There's an app for that. Use an app that helps you save a certain portion of your money every time you spend money. I used something called Moneybox. It's one example where it'll round up my spending, so if I spend 3.59, the other 41p until the pound above will be taken out and put into a non-taxable savings account in the UK. There's probably some other variation if you live outside the UK. Other examples rely on tracking your expenditure, showing you where you spent it, giving you notifications, or alerting you when you hit certain levels in your account. Use these to your advantage. Number 2, the classic cutting down the biggest item of spending. Look at your bank account. What does it tell you? Where do you spend the most in a month? Is it going out? Is it groceries? Is it transport, rent, bills, your phone? Is it unexpected spending pushing you into debt and is the interest that's cutting you down? Figure that out. Most banks will let you download an Excel file with your spending for the past year. Use that. Maybe play around with it, get the information if you're into tracking every detail of your spending. Then find a way to spend your money better in that area. Drive a bike, get a new utilities provider, go out less, have nights in with friends or at a cinema instead of expensive trips to bars and clubs. Shop at less expensive stores. Number 3, change your habits. In my case, a lot of my money goes on lunches. So I started cooking at home. There's not enough time? Well, cook in bulk then. Pasta, chicken, rice, potatoes, steamed vegetables. Those were my best friends. I'd cook 3, 4, 5 meals in one go. Freeze, refrigerate, reheat. It works. If you get coffee every day, make your own at home. The key is to isolate your bad financial habits and then maybe talk to your friends, find out what they do to save money and time that way. As you can see, saving money requires you to sit down and do it properly the first time. It's hard when you start, but it gets a lot easier as it becomes a habit. And I use a combination of the 4 things that I mentioned: setting aside money before you count it as spending money, using the great tools at our disposal, cutting out on the biggest item of spending, and changing habits. It helps to stay accountable to someone. I try to talk to a friend every couple of weeks and just talk about our financial situations. If you stay honest with someone, you'll stay honest with yourself, is how I see it. Make the effort, and the reward that comes with it, and the peace of mind that comes with it will be more than worth it. To end with a quote from my grandma: bit by bit, it all adds up. This was part 2 of 4 of the series on work and the working world as a young person. New videos out every Tuesday. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up and a comment below. If you loved it, go ahead and subscribe. See you next time. Ciao.